In this video, we will walk you through how to use the new Edit Translations tool, designed to expedite translation updates directly inside the app, without having to send files back and forth. Upon opening up the program, click on your Profile button at the top right hand of the screen and select Settings, then toggle On for the translation mode. Once enabled, you will see the Edit Translations module button in the lower left-hand corner. Click it to open the sidebar. A little notification number will show up if there are any outstanding translations for the specific language you have selected. The badge number in the bottom left appears even if the sidebar is closed, as long as translation mode is enabled and a language other than American English is selected. This allows translators to passively use the app and be notified when updates are available. Next, choose the language you would like to update. Next, you need to choose your method. With the method, you have three options. The first one is to start a new update. This is best for most translation work, especially fixing outdated or missing entries. When you start a new update, it begins a new translation session for a selected language. It tracks outdated translations automatically, lets you see which entries have changed since the last update, and enables full edit history, suggestions, and error tracking. This is the recommended workflow for updating translations that are integrated into PixElement's version control and app preview system. Upon selecting Start New Update and continuing to edit the translation, you will be brought to the Edit Translation page. Here you can bring up the translation's tutorial text, which is the question mark logo, show translation keys, which is the square brackets, and close the tool menu, which is the arrow. Next, you can search for a key or translation and filter whether you would like to search only for outdated translations or all translations. You can also click the arrows button to automatically jump to the first missing translation. Now you're ready to start translating. First, you are given the title of the key and then the text that you are being asked to translate. Enter your translation text in the text box below. If you want to keep the same English translation, you can click the down arrow to automatically enter it into the text box. Continue to enter as many translations as you'd like. At the bottom of the toolbar, there is a progress bar displaying how many translation words or phrases there are still available for you to translate. Please note that if you abort your translation project, no translations will be saved. Upon completion of your translations, press the Complete button. You will then be prompted to send to staff for your translations to be shipped with the application. Please note that it is preferred that all translation fields are filled in before being submitted for review. Export work to continue elsewhere, where you can export your current translation work to test separately on cloud or desktop, and export completed files to export your new translations without sending to staff yet. Exporting the files will give you a workspace JSON when selecting export work to continue elsewhere, and a JSON as well as an English reference JSON file when selecting export completed files. You can continue to edit this file if needed or re-import it using the translator tool at any time. Upon selecting continue work via import, you are prompted to upload your workspace JSON file that you previously had exported from your previous work session. In our case, it is the Danish translation JSON. So we will click to browse under number 3 to give it our JSON file. Once it's loaded, we can see all of our previous inputs and continue editing. This is best for picking up where you left off from a previous session, especially across devices or platforms, or cloud versus desktop. So the Continue Work via Import selection imports a saved workspace file, JSON, from a previous translation session. It's also useful if you've started work on cloud and want to continue on desktop or vice versa. It also maintains state, edits, and progress from that session. Please note that if the app version has changed since the export, a warning will appear. Your translated content will still be valid, but previewing it inside the app might not behave correctly. Your third option is to import the locale JSON with no outdated detection. This option allows you to load a raw JSON file, like the da-dk JSON, directly into the app without triggering outdated translation detection. This is not the same as importing a workspace file. The easiest way to generate a locale JSON file is by exporting it using the Export Completed Files option in the Complete menu. While translators could use this to spot check or retest, its main purpose is internal, like when support staff reviews submitted changes to verify everything looks correct before integration. You might use this if you want to edit a JSON file without checking for outdated keys, for example, to retest a completed file or make small fixes like typos, formatting, or minor adjustments. To edit your final JSON file, you would browse for it in step 3. So this will load a raw locale file directly. It does not check for outdated or changed keys, and it skips the usual version diffing and validation steps. Though please use this with caution. This method should only be used for files that are already complete and production ready. If you need to update outdated keys or work through incomplete translations, use Start New Update instead. So what happens after submission? Once you select Send to Staff upon completion, your updated translations are submitted for internal review. You cannot submit if there are any syntax or formatting errors. However, you can submit partially completed translations, and not every field must be filled in for submissions to go through. Our team will still review everything submitted, including any partially or problematic files, and follow up if needed. Once approved, your translations are merged into the latest application build and will be included in the next update shipped to users. If any problems arise during review, such as invalid formatting or missing placeholders, you may be contacted to make corrections. Once integrated, your translations will become active in the live app, visible to users who select that language. Try it out and help bring PixElement to users around the world, one language at a time.